So I wanted to go over a strategy to make currency, but I'm not going to reveal everything. I'm not going to share everything that I know. I'm just going to give you a rough explanation of how this strategy works, and then you can go figure out for yourself what are the good items you can create. Now I'm talking about creating fractured bases. The yellow lightning resistance means it's a fractured modifier, and certain modifiers, if they are fractured on a certain base of a certain item level, will sell for a lot. Now, those fractured modifiers usually will sell for about 4 times the price of a fracturing orb, because a fracturing orb usually has a 25% chance of success. You can see that the item needs to be rare with at least 4 modifiers, one of which is the modifier that you want, so 25% chance of success. However, there's a few things you can do, because you just need to find a base that has multiple modifiers that are good if they are fractured. And what you're going to do, you are going to recombine them. So the first item would be an item with a modifier that is good, and the second item would be the same base, same item level, with the second modifier that is good. So both of these modifiers, if they are fractured, either one of those, will be good if they are now fractured. So you are going to buy a bunch of bases of that item level. You're going to all spam for one modifier on one side, for the other modifier on the other side, and you're going to recombine until you get a rare item with both of those modifiers. Or maybe it's a blue item if it's a prefix and a suffix. The idea is you need an item that has both of those modifiers that if either one of them is fractured, it's going to sell for a lot. So now when you're going to use a fracturing orb, instead of having a 25% chance of creating an expensive item, you're going to have a 50% chance. And those items, because they sell for a lot, you're going to make a profit. There's something you can do. You can take this even further. For example, if it's a body armor, gloves, boots, or helmet, because you can use the Eldritch currency. See these ones right here. You apply to influence what Eldritch currency you're going to use. So for example, if it's String Exarch dominant, it will reroll the prefixes, and you can see if String Exarch is dominant, it will reroll the prefixes with a chaos, and it will reroll the suffixes. If it's Eater of Worlds dominant, it will reroll the suffixes. So by knowing this, you can have an item. So for example, you have 2 good suffixes, and now you can you can just work on your prefixes and get a good prefix that if that prefix is fractured on that base type of that item level, now that still will sell for a lot. So you can just use a few Eldritch Chaos Orbs, Eldritch Exalted Orbs, to get the third good modifier on your item. And now when you're going to use an orb of a fracturing orb, you will have a 75% chance of creating a valuable item that will sell for a lot. Now, you can do something even more. For example, if you fail the fracture, you can still create that, you can still craft that item. For example, you can use prefixes cannot be changed, suffixes cannot be changed, and use harvest or a different method of crafting. I'm not going to give specific examples, but you can go figure out the items for yourself. But this is the idea of how this works. Now, what you're going to need, you will need a lot of gold, and you will need dust. To make gold, you're not going to farm maps. You're going to go to the Forbidden Trove Discord, TFT, and then you're going to buy rotations for gold maps. So they will do the Gilded Old Flame, and you pay them 3, 4, 5 divines, and they will give you like 1 million gold or something like that. So you can do that for gold, because you will need like 1 or 2 million, maybe 3 million gold per hour. I don't even remember how much it was. But you'll need a lot of gold, and also you will need a lot of dust. most Uniques by default will give very little dust, like 5k, 10k, 16k, and this is bad. You're not going to make dust by disenchanting these Uniques. You're going to make dust by disenchanting certain Uniques that give a few millions. For example, I'm going to leave a link in the description and you can go check that out. But last league, for example, I would just buy Star Forges for 1 divine and they would give like 2.6 million. And another thing you can do is to add quality. For example, these boots have only 2% quality and you can see that they give me 22.8. But if I add quality, that number of dust increases. And with a Star Forge, I think it was like 3.4 million dust that I would get from a 20% quality Star Forge. And I just paid 1 divine for it. So that's how you get dust. Anyway, this was the strategy. As I said, I'm not going to reveal which items are good, but after watching this video, I think you get an idea of the items that are good. Anyway, go discover them for yourself.